What's up? What's up, y'all? I told y'all I'd be back if something popped off. I was thinking about Real Housewives of New Jersey, but child, I was born. So I found out that Jermaine Dupri went down to the Big Ticket Show, and he has finally added his 2 cents to this escape drama. So let's get into. We ain't gonna be here long, as the preachers say. We're not gonna be here long, but I wanted to bring y'all the info. Y'all said y'all not tired of hearing about it yet, so child, we gonna talk about it. Hey everybody, can y'all hear me? I moved my mic, so I don't know if y'all can hear me. Do I need to move the mic up? Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me okay. Let me say hi to the people. Hey Jamil, hey Boo, hey Nicole, hey Raphael, how you doing? Hey April, Beverly, hey Yolanda, Brandon, hey Sarah, what's going on? Hey Tracy, hey Nap Queen. Okay, so y'all can hear me all right? Because we about to get this party started. We ain't gonna be here long, like I said. Please hit that like button as you guys come in. Y'all know I'm coming on late, so we want to let the people know that we are here. Did you see Xscape and SWB on the Jennifer Hudson show today? No, I didn't. I saw the clips, but I wasn't interested. I don't know, it just didn't pique my interest. Okay. But I did see the clips, where they were on there and stuff like that. So, not to go too far back, let me give you guys a little bit of the whole JD piece of this situation. So, Jermaine Dupri, my point of view on this, actually, I'll give you my point of view when we're done listening to the information. But the first thing I want to just kind of remind you guys of, I don't have the sound bite. I mean, I can find it, maybe I will look for it. But Jermaine Dupri was on the Breakfast Club a few years ago, and he spoke on Xscape, and he spoke on the breakup of Xscape. And what he said was that he never really knew why the ladies broke up. He never really understood why they broke up. But then the more he talked, the more he ended up explaining why they broke up. And I was like, the more you talk, the more you're explaining. And basically what he said was that, because at first he said he didn't understand why they broke up, because they still had, basically, they had more hits to make, more money on the floor. He don't know why they walked away from it, right? But the more he talked, and he started talking about how there was always tension between Kandi and Tasha. And his explanation as to why the tension was there was because he said, Tasha was like the leader of the group. It was like her group. She had put the group together. It was like her group. He said, and he signed the group, but the minute they got ready to start making their music and getting into the studio, he said their very first song, which was Just Kicking It, Kandi sings lead. He said, and he feels like that's where it started. Like it started from that point, and the tension and the rivalry and the jealousy and the egos, it expanded from that point forward. And I said, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. If the problem between Tasha and Kandi started from day one, almost like damn near day one, then that makes sense. Just your group, you put the group together. It's very Dream Girls, right? It's very Dream Girls. If you walk into the studio and your voice, even though you, in your mind, you have the better voice or the stronger voice, but that's not the voice that the producer is looking for, I could see where that started a rivalry, okay? So Jermaine Dupri was down at the Big Ticket Show today, and Shamia was asking him some questions, and she asked him what was his take on what was going on, right? You guys, the 66 people in the room, I hope we have like 50 likes. I know, again, it's going to probably be a small crowd, child. It's going to probably be a small crowd. But if you guys come on in, hit that like button, and then they'll send out more notifications. Now, let's listen to a little bit of this. This isn't the Breakfast Club interview, excuse me. This is the interview from the Big Ticket. I could probably find the Breakfast Club interview so you guys can hear what he had to say. But that was a few years ago. But if you want to find it, we can look for it. Okay, let's listen to Jermaine Dupri.
Xscape in here the other day, and then we have Tasha here as well. I know you know all the comments that going on with them from their show, Queens of R&B. They've been going back and forth about a lot of stuff. One thing, they brought your name up. It was saying that you were responsible for not releasing Tasha's album. So they said, well, why don't you ask JD about it? Did she ever ask you about that?
No.
What are your thoughts?
They don't ask me that. They know what ask me.
What would have been your answer? Because Tasha blamed.
So, first of all, they asked him, did Tasha ever ask you why her album never came out? And he said no. But then he went on to say, they know not to ask me nothing. So I'm not sure what that means. I don't know if he means from the point of view of, don't question me. I'm the CEO. I make these decisions. You don't get to question why I make the decision. Or if he was just saying, look, don't question me. You know what I'm saying? Check IG, start at the 11 minute. Okay, thank you, boo. So I'm not sure why he said where that's coming from. But he said no. He said Tasha never asked him. Now that's stupid to me. Not from his point of view, but from Tasha's point of view. If you had a good enough relationship with Jermaine Dupri to sign a solo deal, to have the conversation about your solo deal outside of the group, then you had a good enough relationship with JD to say, hey, what's going on with my album? Why isn't it coming out? Now, I honestly wouldn't believe him if Tasha hadn't said the same thing. Remember, they asked Tasha, did you ever ask Jermaine why your album didn't come out? And she said herself, she said no. Had she never said no, I would be like, now come on, Jermaine, you know that girl asked you why her album didn't come out. But she said she never asked him, which I think is stupid. So for you to, well, we'll get there. Let's just go ahead.
Candy for it, and it was saying you can't sing at the time, and she was like, I ain't gonna stop your music from coming out. Talk to JD about it.
I was thinking about this because I saw it, and I was like, I don't actually remember.
So Jermaine is like, honestly, I don't remember why I never put her album out. I don't believe that. I believe he doesn't think it's a big issue. I believe he hasn't put a lot of thought into it. But he know why he didn't put that girl album out. And it may just be something as simple as he didn't think it was going to be a hit. Listen. We got to understand that Jermaine Dupri is about the business. And you're going to hear what he says in here where basically he's all about the business. It wasn't about friendship. It wasn't about whether he liked or didn't like. It was about, can this make me money? And at the end of the day, Jermaine Dupri was running a record label. And by the time Xscape was going through this turmoil, he had a roster that was ridiculous. And they were not even, you know what I mean? They were one of many. By the time this was going on, he had, Criss Cross and Lil Bow Wow and the Brat and, all whatever other acts he had on the label at the time. Like So Def was at its peak when they were having their problems. You think he was dealing with the day-to-day of a girl group? He wasn't.
Really?
But you wouldn't give him that kind of power to stop somebody, another artist on your label's record, right?
You said what now?
You wouldn't have allowed Candy to stop. That's what I'm saying. So
right. So Samir said, so Candy didn't stop it. And he was like, how could she? Like how could she stop me from releasing an album? I believe JD is the source of a lot of the conflict. I believe that the way JD handled the group, has a lot to do with how the group broke up. But I don't think he's the source of, he's the source of the conflict, but I don't think in a mean way. But I'll come back to that, Phil. I'll come back to that.
That was the allegation. That was the.
No, I can't. No, that has nothing to do with it. Like I said, I don't actually remember what actually happened in the process of Tasha's project. But I do know that it was moving forward. When I did Bounce With Me, Tasha, that's actually Tasha singing by herself on that song. And so me and Tasha was in the studio at that time. I don't remember. I don't remember what what was actually happening. There was a lot going on at the time. Because like I think if you know, and it's so crazy because Nelly was in the studio with me last night. He's talking about these egos, and he's like, JD, that's your job. That's what you do. You deal with all the egos. You know how to do it very well. Because if you remember, like when I did So Def 20th anniversary.
So if he's supposed to be managing the egos, then I don't think he did a good job in the case of Xscape, because I think there were a lot of egos in that room. So if your job was to manage the egos, JD, you did a bad job. I still can't believe he authorized a bio movie on Xscape for Lifetime without the group knowledge. That wasn't him. That was Carlos. Oh, you mean he authorized it? Was he working with Carlos? I never heard his name. I heard Carlos.
It was only 2 girls that came on stage and performed it.
So he's talking about So Def's 20th reunion, but that falls in line with what Candy said. That falls right in line with what Candy said on her speak on it, where she said that when Jermaine wanted to do the 20th anniversary, he just announced that Xscape was going to be there without talking to Xscape. And Candy said at that point, when they did the 20th reunion, she said, I hadn't spoken to them in 10 years. I mean, her and Tiny, we know her and Tiny are friends. She said, but I hadn't talked to them. We weren't. So for him to just assume that I was just going to run up on stage for this reunion, like he didn't have a conversation with us. We hadn't worked on our relationship. We weren't friends. We weren't talking. We weren't touring. We weren't doing shows together. So it ended up being just Tamika and Latasha, because Candy was like, nah, I ain't doing it. And I guess Tiny decided not to do it. So that falls in line with what Candy said, that Jermaine just was like, oh, it's the 20th anniversary. Y'all coming? And Candy was like, what do you mean are we coming? I ain't talked to these girls in 10 years. Like, what are you talking about?
So it's and at that time it was Tasha and her sister, and Tamika and Candy didn't show up. So it's like, I don't pay no attention to this either. It's okay. It is what y'all, you know. I love it.
Now I don't believe that either. I don't believe that it didn't bother him that they didn't show up for the 20th reunion. I don't believe that, because I believe that in his mind, you were my first group. How dare you not be here? How dare this not be important to you? How dare you not want to be a part of this history? I don't believe that it didn't bother him. Now that's my opinion. I don't believe that it didn't bother him. I mean, I believe he got over it, but I don't believe that it didn't, because let's be clear. You're putting together a 20th reunion of So Def. They're the first group that you signed. You gotta want them there. And you want the original group there. Like, let's be clear.
I actually like it more or less than anything. I know everybody probably like, this guy's wild. But the fact that you guys are talking to these girls in 2023, and I signed them in 92, and they're like at the top of the conversation on every blog, on TV, radio. That's a real. I feel like something that says something about the talent that they are, that people really still care about them. You know what I mean? Enough to for you to even be asking me about them. It's like, that's the first group I ever signed, and for them to still be, you know, they probably more popular now than they were when, you know what I mean, when I first signed them. So I feel like we in that world where if you know, Candy's been a housewife since the.
So that's how you know that all he cares about is the money. Because you heard what he said. He said, well, I mean, I think the fact that y'all are talking about them and they're in all the blogs, I mean, you know, it's 2023 and I signed them in 1992 or whatever, 96, whatever he signed them. And the fact that y'all are still 92 and the fact that y'all are still talking about them, sir, it's not good though. Like, they're not talking about us. We're not talking about Xscape for the right reasons. Yeah, we're talking about them, but we're talking about them imploding. We're talking about them still not being able to process and deal with the shit that happened when they were on your watch. So, but that tells you where his mind is. He don't care. All he cares about is the money part of it.
Right, since it first started, right? So she's basically part of that world, and they have basically gone into that world. So I think it's almost like what you was just saying, Tigger, about like me going into different, sectors of life. I feel like they have evolved from this early '90s girl group to, a talked about girl group in the 2000s, and then they're continuing to keep it going. So I feel like hopefully they all understand we only get one life, right? We only get one life. So all of this excitement, turn it into something for the album out.
That's essentially what he said. So I see the comments about like JD or whatever. And let me say this, maybe I just look at things differently, right? I look at things differently. JD want their daddy. I don't even feel like he was their friend. I mean, I feel like he was friendly. I mean, we know him and Candy had a little something situation, but they weren't boyfriend and girlfriend. They weren't dating. Like, neither one of them has described what they did as dating. Both of them have described it sort of as they work together a lot. You start sort of developing feelings for somebody. They gave into it a couple of times, and that was that. Like, I didn't get the impression from either one of them that it was no great love affair, right? And so I think we're putting too much, when I say we, I think some people are putting too much on the expectation of what Jermaine Dupri was and who he was. He wasn't these girls' mentor. You know what I'm saying? He was their producer. He signed them to his record label. I feel like he was Bow Wow's mentor, right? Bow Wow called him, talked about him like he was a second dad, right? Bow Wow was family to JD. I don't feel like he ever had that relationship with them. He was their producer. And so, as their producer, like he said, I'm going to let y'all listen. My girl, my producer done found the clip for me. So let's listen to what JD said on the Breakfast Club a few years ago. And I think this might help you guys hear my point of view on it. I'm not saying y'all are wrong. I'm saying just my point of view on it. Why I'm saying what I'm saying. Oh, Lord. Okay, I hit the wrong button, child. That was L-Tech, child. Okay, hold on. I'm going to put y'all on pause. I'm going to get to the right. Well, hey, beep, toot, toot. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to get. Okay, here we go. I think I'm there, y'all.
Ask you. You
can't really define, like, just put your finger on what you want to see from so definitely.
It's interesting you mentioned Xscape, because I was going to ask you a question that they say that nobody ever asked you. You never bigged them up in interviews.
Yeah,
was that a conscious thing?
No, I never talked about Xscape in interviews because they broke up. by the time, you know what I mean? Like, and I felt like it was like, you know, I never understood why they broke up. You know what I'm saying? I never understood why they broke up. I never understood what the reason was, and I just felt like if they didn't want to talk about their own self. So what am I here talking about? You know what I mean? I want to talk about it.
Now again, I have to sort of call BS on you not understanding why they broke up. I think you don't think it was a good enough reason for them to break up. But I think you know why they broke up. I think you just think that's stupid. But that's my opinion. We'll come back to it.
I would always love to talk about Xscape, but they just never wasn't really, they was really completely opposite of what they was doing. Like, for the longest, people that watched T.I. and Tiny never even knew that she was even a group. You know what I'm saying? And then Candy, she got so much popularity from Housewives, it was the same thing. Like, people wasn't really ever connecting them to what the...
I mean, if you're from a certain era. You
from a different era. Yeah. But I'm saying for the most part, you never heard them say nothing about it either. So it was just like, it wasn't really something that I was deliberately doing. It was just the fact that I was just caught up in what was happening. That's
when you know you got a lot of hit records, when you can just conveniently forget Xscape. Xscape was popping. I didn't realize how big Xscape was, though. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yes, you did, because we had a whole conversation when they said they were going back on tour, and I was like, oh, that's exciting. I want to see Xscape. And he was like, who wants to see Xscape?
I did, because I didn't realize how big they were. I didn't realize.
I mean,
a
lot of people didn't. And I'm glad that they went on the tour. I'm glad that they did. I'm glad that I sparked that energy to make them even go out there and do that, because a lot of people on that other side of that.
See, now there's that ego. I'm glad that I sparked it. Well, to hear them tell the story, it was sparked by you trying to tell their life story to Carlos King. That's what it sounds like. But okay, however you get it, honey.
That didn't realize how big that group is and how much they meant to the culture.
Did it make it awkward when Tamika said that you and Candy was having sex?
No.
Was that part of the reason you...
I'm a lifer, man. I'm a real life person, man.
Yeah.
Things that happen in my like the funniest part about, I'm gonna say is the funniest part about being older and becoming, I guess, legendary, what people call you, is that people always try to make fun of things that happen in your life. You can't make fun about things that, this is my life.
Right.
I live the craziest life ever. Like when I had to tell Wendy Williams this about Janet. Like, I dated Janet Jackson, nobody else. You can't say nothing crazy about it. You can.
Again, you hear his ego, right? And listen, I'm not mad at Jermaine Dupri, but you hear what you're dealing with. So I don't feel like Jermaine Dupri ever tried to be a mentor to Xscape. They worked for him. You know what I'm saying?
Ask me about it, but I'm the one who enjoyed all of that. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with anybody that anybody said they heard I was with. You know, me and Candy, we did have a little thing, but that ain't what broke the group up.
Now hold on now, because the girl first, she said y'all did do something, and then she said she lied about it. Tamika, whoever.
I think what happened was that I know Candy in her book discussed what happened, and she said you guys did have a relationship, and I can see how that could be somewhat.
Oh, Candy already had a book out? I didn't know Candy, because I said the other day Candy gonna write a book, but it's gonna be a part 2. She already wrote a book, child. She got a whole nother book to write, child.
For the other girls in the group, because they might feel like they're not getting treated equally, that Candy might have had more of an advantage because she had more of a direct line to you. I mean, it's just what people think.
And they said it was you and your daddy smashing.
Right, that's the lie. She said it was never her.
That's where my hands bow out. That's where I bow out. I don't know nothing about all that other stuff.
So it was about Candy saying that they lied about her sleeping with Jermaine's dad.
Not Jermaine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, the situation with me and Candy, it was just something that happened. It wasn't like that. And I mean, you know, the thing that broke Xscape up, for just the clarity, is me writing the songs. Because when the group came to me, I never really paid attention to how the group was actually created from the scratch. I write the songs based on how I hear music, and I thought that Candy should sing the songs because that's just how it felt to me. Mm-hmm. But Tasha was actually the leader of the group. So when you start giving people songs and you tell me they should sing, and you give a song to Angela, and he's the person who started it, he gonna be looking like, yo, I'm supposed to be singing.
Y'all had a relationship.
No, it wasn't. That was the first song.
That's what. Oh, okay.
This was the very first song. This happened before anything. This was like this when they came to my house. I said, yo, this is the song I want y'all to sing. The song said Candy be the lead, right? And then Tasha had to fall back, and it's like her group. So from there, I never even paid no attention to what I was doing. I was already creating a friction by doing that. And that's a lot of times that happens when you write songs. You don't even really pay no attention to that. And people don't, I didn't pay too much attention to that. And I kept writing songs that leaded to, like, once Just Kicking It went number one, and I was like, oh shit, Candy, you might need to sing another song. Right. And then the person's still looking like, nigga, this is my group. When I'm gonna get my lead. So, and then it started changing when I made Who Can I Run To, and Tasha sang the lead, and Candy wasn't on that song, right? So it was like, it just was the way the structure was. That group thing is so crazy when you do that type of stuff.
And what about Tasha going solo? Was that your idea, or was that another label?
I mean, I think she always wanted to go solo, but the whole truth of it was that I wasn't like pushing that to be something that would break the group up.
And so many things have come back full circle for you. Now, growing up,
so now he said he wasn't pushing that to break the group up. Again, I think that Jermaine Dupri honestly felt like, again, hindsight is 20/20. He may feel differently today, but I think in that moment, back in the 2000s, whenever all of this went down, I think in Jermaine's mind, it was, I'm going to go ahead and give Tasha her little solo album, and then she's going to come back to the group. I don't know why he thought that, because that generally never happens. I mean, not immediately, but I'm going to be honest with y'all and tell y'all that it doesn't sound like Jermaine Dupri really put a whole lot of thought and faith into Tasha's solo project. Now, I could be wrong. Y'all tell me if I'm reading too much into that. Y'all know, y'all can say, really be you putting 20 on 10. Sarah said, just a bunch of drama. You don't really see TLC with drama. Yes, you did. What are you talking about? Yeah, did you watch the TLC biopic? Absolutely. You know TLC broke up. Left Eye left the group. Yeah, they had drama. You don't see SWV. Sarah, did you not look at SWV's reality show? Did you not look at SWV? What was it? How many seasons did they do their reality show? 2 or 3 seasons. Did you not see? I think it may seem like it because Xscape is in the headlines right now and SWV has moved past their drama. But if you go back and look at TLC's biopic that VH1 did a few years ago. It was a really good biopic. Lil Mama played Left Eye. It was really, really good. Left Eye actually left the group. And she went to do her solo project. And she had her own, when she was down in when she died in that car accident down in South America, she wasn't with the group at that point in time. She had left the group. They had drama. And then SWV had their own reality show. Ciao. Sarah, I think you probably forgetting, because we always, our memories, what I always tell y'all, when people go away and be quiet, we forget about stuff. So I think because we haven't really heard, and I think because Left Eye isn't here, we tend to dwell on the positives because we don't want to speak ill of her because she's not here. But yeah, they went through a lot of drama. Right. And Xscape eventually will as well. You said Xscape takes the K period. I just think it's because we're seeing it play out. I think it's because of where we are in our world today, where we're seeing it play out day by day. I think if Left Eye was still alive, and if TLC had been broken up for these last 20 years, and they were getting back together on a reality show where we could see it play out day by day, I think it would be the same thing. When SWV came out with their reality show, the blog world wasn't what it is today. Most their reality show was under the radar for the most part. I know I barely watched it. I might have caught a few episodes here or there, but I think that I feel like if SWV were to have done their reality show in this climate, with the way things are now with Instagram and the Shade Room and Watch What Happens Live and YouTubers like me doing it and bringing it up, I think it would be the same thing. I really do. I think it's not fair to compare what we're seeing going on with Xscape against shows that happen or things that happen in a different climate. I mean, if you look at every girl group, I think most girl groups have had their drama, but they just didn't play out in the day by day blogs. So I think we have to put it in that context. But that's my opinion. Look at Salt and Pepper. You heard the drama, but they digging 24/7. Thank you, Sebastian. I hope everybody, it's 167 people. I hope everybody's hitting that like button. I watched the SWV show. Coco is a totally different person now. It was that damn husband. And that's what I'm saying, though. I think that if it were playing out day by day, right, 3LW, hell, they was throwing Kentucky Fried Chicken at each other. They left that girl at the damn Popeyes. Kentucky Fried Chicken, whatever she threw at that girl. And they left her there. She had to call her mama to come and get her. I feel like if 3LW had a reality show where they were trying to get back together, I feel like it's only 95. We don't even have 100 likes. Hey, y'all coming in. If y'all can hit that like button, I appreciate that. Thank y'all so much. We talking about Jermaine Dupri finally putting his 2 cents on this Xscape drama. This has been going on for weeks now. Right, because the show was on. Listen. Had they not had this show, we wouldn't know none of this. All we would know is that Tasha isn't touring with them anymore. We wouldn't know all the intimate details. We just wouldn't know. Now, again, they have a salacious history. But think about it. A lot of this stuff we didn't know about. And like Candy said, there's a whole lot that we've never said. There's a whole lot that we've never told. And I really think that they probably just should have stuck with their first mind and not did the show. Because all of them have said that they really didn't want to do the show. But that's why I said Mona, Scott, and Bravo must have been offering them a nice little paycheck. Because all of them have said they didn't want to do the show. And the only thing that's going to convince you to do something you don't want to do, well, I ain't going to say the only thing, but a strong motivator, money. Money is a strong motivator. We know about the drama from the Supremes and the Temptations was messy as hell. Can y'all imagine if the Temptations had done a reality show? Y'all, I'm serious. So we have to stop looking at it from, we have to understand that it's the climate in which we are right now. They signed up to do a reality show. First of all, y'all already know drama sells. If those two groups got together and every episode was them skipping along and rainbows and daisies and sing-alongs, y'all would be like, this is so boring. Because that's what we do. We like the drama. And I say we, thank you, DMV. I say we in a general basis. You know what I'm saying? Not every single person. Recency bias is real. In the SWV and Salt and Pepper show, SWV or Xscape and Salt and Pepper SWV. Agreed. And I reviewed that show. I reviewed the Salt and Pepper. Y'all can go back and look at my playlist. And it was bad. At the time, Coco was going through a divorce. Coco was cussing the girls out. She was disappearing. She was halfway showing up. She had to keep flying back to Virginia. Baby, Coco was giving them the blues. And then Salt and Pepper had their drama with Spinderella. Remember, that's when Spinderella had sued the group. And y'all, go back and watch that show. It was a mess. It just didn't get on the front page of the blogs the way this is. But you also have to take into consideration that this is a Bravo show. If this were on VH1 or BET, it probably wouldn't be getting the same amount. But it's a Bravo show, so they're going to push it. They're going to put it out there. They're going to publicize it. Like, Bravo is a machine. And that makes a difference too. It was even worse because of that New York bravado. Yeah, that makes a difference too. We also have to look at where the show is. Bravo reality is way different than VH1 reality, different from WeTV reality, different from BET. Like it's a different animal. So that makes a difference too, y'all. You know, but you're absolutely correct. Think about it. If we had a Supremes, the Supremes reality show, child, I done told y'all about some of them stories. Child, Donna Ross tried to run this lady over because the woman was sleeping. They were sleeping with the same man. Diana Ross actually got behind the wheel of a car, and tried to run this woman over. Y'all, listen. Y'all go read some of them books from back in the day, talking about these groups and what they had going on. The girl groups, when they would go on these shows together, they would hide each other's clothes, steal each other's wigs to try to sabotage them. Child, they was all sleeping with each other. Please, y'all better go on back and figure it out, child. Destiny Child took 2 group members out and added new members. Child, they dropped the girl off in the middle of the daggone tour. Told her we'd mail you your luggage. But again, they weren't doing a reality show. They weren't on Front Street. Wigs and gowns would have been flown all over. Yes. Y'all go over there and check out Nate Robb. Nate Robb has read a lot of these biographies and autobiographies, and she be telling it. Y'all better go check out my girl Nate Robb. Absolutely. Matter of fact, somebody dropped I got a mod in here. If you could drop Nate Robb's link. Nate Robb, right now she's doing Florence Ballard. And I actually read that book as well. I believe it's Florence Ballard's right now is what she's doing. Child, y'all saw that Clark Sisters movie, and that was watered down. And it was still a lot to it. They put their own sister out the group because she kept getting pregnant. Y'all better go and do that research. Philip Bailey said in his memoir he was having an affair with one of the Jones girls while married. Do I accept advertisers? I don't know what you mean. Like, do I accept sponsors? Like, if somebody wants to run an ad, I haven't. I would consider the right offer. I haven't done it yet, but I would. That DC luggage quote lives rent free in my mind. What DC luggage? Tell me the quote. HFG. Tell me the quote because I don't know the quote. Mary TV shirt told me listen, and everybody don't need to do reality TV. Look, that's the other thing too. Everybody don't do Steve, you can email me the right offer. Everybody don't need to do reality TV. Okay? Kelly Clark. I said Kelly Clark. Kelly Price don't need to do reality TV ever again in life. Tasha Scott don't never need to do reality TV ever again in life. Okay, there are certain people that I feel like they tarnish their image. Mary, well, the one Mary, Erica can do reality again. She know how to play right. The other Mary, don't never do it again. Oh, we can send you your yes, honey. Oh, you've been to Destiny. See, I'm from DC, so when you say DC, I automatically think Washington, DC. My bad. Yes, we can send you your luggage. Okay. Yeah, Tina don't never need to do reality ever again. Never. Ever again. Latasha don't need to do. Listen, Tasha Scott never needs to do another reality show, and I'm serious about that. The only reality show that I would accept from Latasha Scott at this point, I would accept her mama, her sister, and Ayanna for like a month. They don't need a weekend retreat. They really need to do some ongoing stuff for a long term. They need to sit down with TD Jakes. They need to sit down with Ayanna. They really need some long-term therapy. I would accept that. But just another reality show, no ma'am. No, ma'am. No. You just don't need to do another reality show. This ain't in you. This ain't your talent. This ain't the talent God gave you. Okay? You want to look at that? No, I don't want no, we don't want Tasha doing marriage boot camp because it would be a disaster. That man would embarrass her. Do you know how badly that man would embarrass her on some damn marriage boot camp? Do y'all know how badly that man would embarrass her on marriage boot camp? No, ma'am. No, ma'am. The Shepherd family had a TV show on VH1. What Shepherd family? I don't even know the Shepherds. It need to be canceled. So let's go back to JD real quick because I said we wasn't going to be here long and it's already been 43 minutes, chat. But let's go back to JD real quick. I think what I heard JD say was, listen, as the producer, I wrote a song. I put the person who I thought was the best voice for the song. Just kicking it. It was Candy. Whatever their next single was, it was Candy. He said, then I got to, what was that slow song? And it was Tasha. But the fact that it was Tasha's book. It was Tasha's group. She was the lead singer. And that is what she expected to be. And then we got in the studio and that's not what it was. It probably did create what's what I'm looking for? Friction from the very beginning, right? But again, that just further solidifies Candy's story about her and Tasha and the fact that it's always been there. It's always been a problem. Like it didn't just start at some. It's always been there for them. The one thing I will agree is at this point, until everybody is ready to be honest, and that doesn't. And I'm not saying that Candy's all honest and Tasha's all lying. That ain't what I'm saying either. But until all four of them are ready to be honest and sit in a room and really hash it all out, and they don't really need the cameras there. I was joking about Ayala and TD Jakes. They don't need no cameras. They really don't. They need to handle whatever they need to handle in private. They need to go through whatever they need to go through in private. They don't need no cameras around. And they need to be honest. They need to be ready to really be honest. And Tasha, you have to really be honest and say, Candy, I ain't fuck with you for this reason. ... This is why I didn't fuck with you. And you got to be honest about it. I'm sorry, I was looking for something. Where is it? You got to be honest about that. And that's the problem that I think they're having is, and I know part of the reason why Tasha isn't being honest, part of the reason, in my opinion, part of the reason that Tasha isn't being honest is because Tasha hasn't been honest with herself. She hasn't been honest with herself. So until she can be honest with herself, and Candy has to go in with a willing heart to forgive and all of them for that matter. But I think if Tasha would be honest, I think you can't forgive somebody while they still lying to you. Did y'all see that episode last week when them girls confronted her with the text messages and the wire transfers, and her response was, so y'all just gonna believe text messages? I can't forgive you until you honest. That's like the situation with this money. You making the situation with the money worse because all Tamika wants is an acknowledgement that it happened. Now again, I'm not saying on camera. I'm not saying it needs to be acknowledged on camera. But all this girl wants is an acknowledgement that you did her dirty. And you playing games like, oh, you know, she's always been a liar. well, something been off with my sister since our daddy left. Our sister, my sister, she's been a little bit off. Like, don't be running around here trying to make it seem like I got mental issues and I'm some chronic liar to cover up the fact that you stole my money. I can't blame Tasha for sticking by her husband. I can. I absolutely can. Yeah, I can. You can't blame Tasha for sticking by her husband after he done stole from her sister? That's interesting. Well, you lied on camera, so that acknowledgement for that would have to be done on camera. Well, that's true too. I have a question. This may be deeper for Tasha. She wants to be successful. All this coming out, God has given her a chance to truly be used if she comes clean. Honestly, I really feel like, and I think it starts with what version of the story you believe, right? I think it starts with what version of the story you believe. So the version of the story that I choose to believe, because I don't know, I wasn't there. I choose to believe Kandi and Tamika's version of the story. I believe that Tamika tried to talk to her sister off camera before they started filming. And I'm going to tell you why I believe that. Because going back to what they've all said, Tamika has always had her sister's back, and Tamika has always protected her sister no matter what, right? So I believe that she went to Tasha before they started filming so they could sort of get their stories straight and get on the same page. That's what I believe. But I also believe that Tasha, for whatever her reason was, didn't want to do it, didn't want to have the conversation. No public disrespect and private apologies. Now, y'all know how I feel about that. I agree with that. Just because that's your husband doesn't mean he's right. I left my husband for doing illegal activity. I wasn't going down with him. No, that's what I'm saying. Like, let me say this. Let me tell you, and maybe I just ain't been in love enough. I don't know. But let me tell you what I'm not getting ready to do. If Tasha really, truly didn't have anything to do with that money, and she found out after the fact that her husband stole that money from her sister, ain't no way in hell I'm standing behind that. I'm sorry. Now, I might not, I'm not standing behind that. I'm not doing that. Nope. But based on the evidence from Sunday's episode, it seemed like Tasha was in cahoots with this bootleg thing. I mean, with this kickback at bootleg. It seemed like Tasha was in line with this kickback situation. So now it makes me side eye her with the $30,000 because you were already stealing from your sister. If you and your husband were getting side payments every time they worked with certain promoters and they were making $10,000, $15,000 on the side, you already stealing from your sister. It's just in a different form. You know what I'm saying? Right, Phil. But Phil, you said that you understand why she did it. Being in a bad situation is different from saying I understand why she's doing it. I can't support that. I know we're in bad situations and I know people do dumb stuff for love. What I tell y'all, when I worked at the jail, when I taught the juveniles at the jail, what I tell y'all about them girls, and I keep telling y'all better watch y'all little girls. And what I tell y'all about them girls, those girls, 95% of those girls that were locked up because of a boy or a man. Either they was out fighting over a man and they got arrested. Either they was doing crime with a man and they got arrested. They were doing a crime for a man and they got arrested. Or they were accessory after the fact for a man and they got arrested. Very few women, I mean, they weren't women, they were young ladies, they were girls, they were teenagers. Very few of those girls that were in jail because of a crime they initiated independent of a man on their own. Very few. So I understand that women do it every day. But me understanding her doing it and me saying I don't blame her for doing it or whatever, or I would stand by my... It's 200 people in the chat. We only got 128 likes. Can y'all please, thank you, Fifi came in and asked y'all to come on in and hit that like button. If y'all can hit that like button, I appreciate that. If we can get up to like 180 likes before I'm getting ready to get out of here. Motown is still supporting the project. I don't know. Remember Amy Fisher? Absolutely. Absolutely. So like I said, I understand people who do stupid stuff for a man, and I understand women stand by their man, but ain't no man. Nope. They support Jamal Brown with opening a weed store. What? They don't have nothing to do with what we talking about, Jonathan. You just pull that out the sky. I remember this man I dated wanted me to work at a check cashing place so he could see. But I'm gonna say this and then we go because we talking about JD, we done went all left again. But when it comes to JD, in my situation, I feel like at the end of the day, he looking at the money. And he like, listen, y'all better take these lemons and turn them into lemonade. Y'all better take this and get in that studio and make some new music. I done already told y'all what Tasha need to do. Now, listen, if Tasha hired me, if I was Tasha's Olivia Pope, first of all, I couldn't work with Tasha because what I would need her to do, she wouldn't do, okay? What I would need her to do, well, no, I shouldn't say that. There are two different ways I could do this with Tasha. Now, I can't help Tasha with the Xscape situation. I done told you what they need to do, child. They need to pray. I don't know what they can do. But as far as Tasha, now I can't salvage her gospel album. If that gospel album is going to do whatever it's going to do, that's beyond repair at this point. Either people going to buy it or they not. There ain't really nothing we can do about the gospel album right now. But let me tell you what I would do. I would do one or two things with Tasha. Well, I would do, listen. Come and listen. Tasha, this one free, girl. Listen to me. This free. Listen to me. You're going to have to go ahead and ride this gospel wave out. You're going to have to do it, okay? You're going to have to ride this gospel wave out, okay? In about 6 months, you're going to do one or two things. First of all, you got to go just shut up. You just got to shut up. Let this thing pass. Let the storm pass us over. The storm is passing. Just pass it over, okay? When we wait about 6 months, and you can either do one or two things. You can do one or two things. Either you can quietly divorce your husband, or if you ain't ready to divorce him, that's fine. I can't tell you what to do or what not to do, okay? If you're not ready to divorce him, then what you do is you quietly let it be known that y'all went through some intensive therapy. You can lie. Make up a doctor's name. Ain't nobody gonna know the truth. But make it seem like y'all went and y'all did some research. And y'all did some work. And y'all did the work, honey. You know, y'all screamed and y'all yelled and y'all worked on y'all marriage. And then what you do is you drop you a Mary J. Blige EP. Okay? You go out here and you write you some crying, singing, making up. I hate you. I love you. You go and make you one of them albums. Do an EP. You ain't got to make a full album. Don't nobody make whole albums no more, child. Just put together about 8 or 9 good crying in the dark songs, okay? And then y'all go out on y'all tour and you market it as, I wrote these songs when me and my husband was going through. After everything that happened last year, after all of the outside relationships were exposed, regardless of whether y'all was in this fake open marriage or not, you know, me having to explain my marriage to the public, me going through what I went through with my sister. That's what you got to do. Now, this is going to take about a year. Now, you put out that flower, that Singing in the Dark album, that EP, in about 6 months, yeah. That'll be right around Christmas time. That'll be by people to buy it. People going to buy it. People like a redemption story. People are going to buy it. That you can either leave your husband or you cannot leave your husband, but you got to make it seem like y'all went through some therapy and y'all made it out on the other side, whether you did or not. We don't need to know the truth, okay? Then after you put that one out, then in about another 6 months, so around this time last year, you could try the gospel thing again, but this time just do some covers. Just do some old Negro spiritual covers, okay? Get you, I'm telling you, do you some grandma's hands, do you some no charge, do you some the storm is passing over, talk up, and that be your testimony. This is your testimony. The storm is passing over. Get you a good Georgia gospel choir behind you. I'm telling y'all, if she hired me, she'd be on the Billboard charts next year. I'm telling you what I know. Because we know the girl can sing. I'm telling you what I know. Now, if she hired me as her Olivia Pope, that's what I would do. Now, that's free, Tasha. Really be the resourceful publicist. Really be didn't go to the Robin Dixon. I did not. Now, I did not go to the Robin Dixon school. Nut. Thank you, Peace. Peace only got 149 people watching. I done gave Tasha that whole redemption story. I done told Tasha how to get back on top. I done told her how to do it. The Christian men going to buy the gospel album because she naked on the album cover. I don't know nothing about what she looked like on the album cover. Imagine if Xscape still had 5 members. I think we would still be going through the same thing we going through. I don't think 5 members would change anything. I think we'd be going through the same thing we're going through with Xscape. But that's just my 2 cents, y'all. I think that, Jermaine Dupri, I think only thing I'm gonna say is I do think that Jermaine Dupri does know why he didn't move forward with Tasha's album. And if he's being honest with himself, I think it's 2 things. Again, this is me. It's my opinion. It's 2 things. The first one, I think it was Rocky. I think Rocky was the problem. That's the first thing. The second thing, I think he didn't know how to market her. Without her group to camouflage. Listen, let's just call a thing a thing. Look, I'm a big girl. Y'all know I'm a big girl, but we're going to call a thing a thing. I don't think he knew what to do with Tasha. As a thick girl, without the group to camouflage her. I don't think he knew what to do with her. I don't think he knew how to market that. And that's why and that's another reason why I think Jermaine Dupri doesn't understand why they allowed this solo project to break up the group, because in his mind, and y'all got to remember too that Jermaine Dupri was young too, right? Jermaine Dupri wasn't this 50-year-old man that we see now. He was young and he was living that good life. He was having hit after hit after hit, and he had all the money. Remember, he went bankrupt and shit, right? But when you think about it, he owed the government all the taxes and stuff. But when you think about it, I think he just didn't know what to do with her. And she wouldn't be the first. Remember, Roberta Flack couldn't even be on the cover of her first album because they didn't want the public to see this dark-skinned, heavy-set woman. They didn't know what to do with Roberta Flack. So they said, okay, well, we just going to put a picture that ain't her on the album. Let people hear her voice first. Let people fall in love with her voice first. Tasha sang on Bow Wow's very first single, and she was not in the music video. Remember Kelly Price? Kelly Price wasn't. They didn't have Kelly Price in that when she was sing back up on Diddy. Remember, we didn't see Kelly Price for a while at first. JD is the reason why the 5th member had left Xscape. Okay. Yeah, I mean, okay. There you go. Listen, they're gonna. Hey, Leo. Hey, boo. Phyllis Hyman is a perfect example. They didn't know what to do. Listen, we're gonna stop acting like talent is the answer. Talent is not the end all be all. Martha Wash, absolutely. We know We know that these women and men, look at Luther, can sing. We know they can sing. Singing ain't the issue. But it's what are we going to do with you? How do we market you? Now, in today's world, it's a little bit. It still ain't perfect. We know, but it's easy. It's a little bit better in this world. No, I can't say that because child, now everybody getting plastic surgery and butts and lips But I see somebody like, then again, every example I'm getting ready to give y'all, they done lost the way. I was gonna say Jasmine Sullivan. I was gonna say Jennifer Hudson, but Lizzo, Tina Marie was right. Tina Marie wasn't on her first album because they wanted y'all to think she was black. I don't agree, Sarah. I hear what you're saying, but I think y'all giving this man too much. See, I think a lot of times we put things in 2023. I think we forget that this stuff took place 20, 30 years ago. Jermaine Dupri was in his 20s. That's just like, I don't think he thought of it. Like you said, he's a producer. He hears the song in his head. Sing the song and let's go. I think you're the best lead, just like Lil Baby was saying. Back then, we had the Anita Bakers, the Toni Braxtons, the TLCs. Candy has that deep voice. She has that deep, low voice like those artists. And he was just going along with what was going on in the day. I think we are putting too much on a 20-something-year-old who literally, within a matter of a couple of years, was a millionaire. I just think we're putting a lot to say, oh, he knew what he was doing, or he messed it up, or he this, he that. He's figuring it out too. I told y'all and this is a true story. It's a true story. See, y'all got me running my damn mouth. This is a true story. I told y'all this story before. When I worked at the bank after college, I worked back then it was Nations Bank. Nations Bank merged with Bank of America, but it was Nations Bank back then. And I worked in the car collections department. I was the person that called you, told you was late on your car note. Let me try to help you get what up, blah, 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 blah. Remember I told y'all I had Jermaine Dupri's file. His legal name isn't Dupri. Jermaine Dupri's father was in the music industry, yeah. Jermaine Dupri, I forget what his real last name is, but Dupri is not his real last name. So I didn't know it was Jermaine Dupri. I thought it was some dude named Jermaine, whatever his legal last name is. And I got his file. He was behind on his car note. Calling. Don't get anybody on the phone. So back then when we would do car collections, if we tried to call you and we couldn't get you on the phone, everything was in the computer. But your whole file isn't in the computer. So we would have to call, put in an order to get the actual contract that you signed when you went to the dealership. Once we got a copy of the actual contract, then we could go through and you back in the day, nowadays you ain't got to do all this. But back in the day, you put references down and all of that stuff. So that's what we did after that. Once we pulled your file, we went through it and we would call your references. So when I got his file, now on the computer, it said that his employer was So Def Records. But again, it still didn't click. Jermaine Dupri, it didn't click because again, it wasn't Dupri, was his last name. You said Dorian, okay. But I know it wasn't Dupri because that would have clicked. So when it says So Def Records, I'm thinking, he could be on the street team for all I know. Shit, I know who this dude is. But when I got his file is when I figured it out because I told y'all this story. The reference on his file, one of his references was Kenneth Edmonds. Well, I knew who the hell Kenneth Edmonds was. I knew that was Babyface. I said, Babyface is his reference? And that's when it clicked. I said, this is mother freaking Jermaine Dupri. Now, I never got Jermaine Dupri on the phone, but I got his mama on the phone. And remember, I told y'all that Jermaine had like 5 or 6 cars. And this was back in the day when you actually used to get coupons, your car note in a booklet. And his mother was, Jermaine Dupri's mother took care of his money. I don't know if she was taking care of his money when he ended up on the IRS, but that's another conversation. And I got his mother on the phone. His mother was like, this boy got too many cars. This is just ridiculous. She was like, what's the payoff on this car? And I told her what the payoff amount was. And she said, look up his other cars. And he had like 5 or 6 cars with Nations Bank at the time. So I looked up all the other cars. She said, I'm going to send you a check to just pay these cars off. And damn if she didn't do it. She overnighted me a check for the full amount to pay off it was like 5 or 6 cars. And it was like, over $100,000. It was probably like $200,000-$300,000 to just pay off. So I'm saying all that to say, he was just 20 years old, willy-nilly, doing his thing. Back in the 80s, sex sold. Tasha wasn't the it factor. That's why she's bleaching her. Oh, Lord. Even when Xscape first came back to the day and Candy was replaced with another girl, Candy was never replaced with another girl. When did they replace Candy? I shouldn't say Candy was never replaced. Let me say I don't remember them. When did they replace Candy? I don't remember them replacing Candy. I remember them touring with 3. I remember them becoming okay, you said yes she was. All right, my bad. That's why I changed it. I changed what I said. When was she? I did not know they had replaced Candy. I changed what I said because I caught myself. I did not know they had replaced Candy. Let me change what I said. Let me change it. Yeah. I have to say it that many times because somebody gonna watch this on the replay and they're gonna put it in the comments. Even though I said it 20 times, they still gonna put it in the comments. I think sometimes y'all just want to let me know that I was wrong about something, even though I done said it 20 times. Okay, back in 2010, her name was Keisha. Okay, my bad, y'all. I checked it. My bad. I checked myself. And again, I'm not saying that to y'all because I know y'all heard me. I'm saying that for the people watching it on the replay. You don't need to put it in the comments. I caught myself. They replaced Candy. They added a 4th girl. I got it. They replaced her, or was there? There was originally a 4th member. I do know that. In 2005, they tried to, but it didn't go anywhere. They just made that one song that was in Atlanta. Okay. The name of the song was So in Love. Okay, some girl named... All right, I did not know that. So I take it back. My bad, y'all. My bad. Candy and Todd had a contract to do the show according to the Shade Room. To do what show? Candy and Todd had a contract to do what show? You talking about something else, Stephanie. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, so... I just think that this further confirms what Candy has been telling us, that this has just been ongoing. And it's just been a hot mess. I just think Xscape needs to just go somewhere else. I just do. I just really do. And then Tamika had the nerve to say that she's open to reconciliation. Look, I understand family. I'll be the last person to tell you I don't understand family. But what I do understand is at this point in your life, family is who you make. Family is who you choose, I should say. Who you make your family, not necessarily who you're born into. Let me tell y'all something. Jonathan is our spiritual leader down here in the tribe. Jonathan, I'm about to leave these people with a good word. Let me leave y'all with this good word over here, okay? Let me tell y'all something. What y'all need to stop doing, and I'm talking because... Was it Corey? I think it was. I don't want to speak for Corey. I think Corey said that she went through something like this with her family, but I could be wrong. If it ain't you, Corey, my bad, baby, my bad. But let me say this. Y'all, and when I say y'all, I'm only talking to the people who need to pick it up. If it ain't yours, put it down. I'm only talking to the people that need to pick it up. If it ain't yours, put it down. But let me say this. Y'all need to stop acting like because somebody shares blood with you that you owe them something, because you don't. Let me tell you something. I firmly believe in respect. I ain't talking about go out here and disrespect your family or disrespect your elders. I ain't saying all that. You can quietly pick up your purse and walk away. Let me tell you that, okay? You are in your 40s. Tamika, I'm talking to you. Hey, I'm talking directly to you now, Miss Tamika. Listen, you can love your mama and you can love your sister, but you can love them from afar, okay? You can love them from afar. If they don't mean you no good, will, then you don't have to put yourself out. You are a mama. You are a wife. You are a grandmama, okay? You are a businesswoman. You are out here making it happen for yourself, okay? Exactly. You have to protect your peace. There's no rule book, not even the Bible, that says that you have to allow yourself to be miserable and make other people happy. Now, if that's in the Bible, you tell me, Jonathan, I'm wrong. You give me the scripture and you give me the quote where it says you got to be miserable and make everybody else around you happy. You can respect your mom without being a day-to-day presence in your mother's life. You can still love your sister from afar. I think you have shown your sister a lot of grace. And if she can't appreciate it and she can't respect it, then baby, you got to just let it go. You have to let it go. She don't mean you no goodwill. Listen, hold on, come here, Tamika. See, now you done got me riled up. Hold on. Anybody, because I believe you, Tamika. Let me start there. I believe you. Anybody that would steal from you, I don't give a damn if it was $20. Anybody that would steal from you don't mean you no good, huh? It don't mean you no good. They don't mean you no good. And then you add on the fact that you said you were pregnant at the time. Then you add on the fact that you said you had a daughter in college at the time. And this girl had the nerve, your sister had the nerve to steal from you. You don't need that. You don't need that in your life. I'm sorry. You don't need that. Now, that don't mean you gotta, treat her bad because you done already made a decision not to put her in jail. And that's great. That's your business. That don't mean that you have to go out of your way to be nice to her. That don't mean you have to go over her house for Thanksgiving dinner. That don't mean y'all got to exchange gifts down to the Christmas time. I mean, if you want to say happy birthday on her birthday and send her a card, that's fine. If you want to, send her a gift at Christmas time, do your thing. But there is no rule that says that you have to allow this woman who has disrespected you, who has stolen from you, to be a part of your life. Now, that just ain't a rule I live by. That just ain't a rule I live by. But I bet you have people in your life right now that would never do that to you. And y'all don't share no blood, but would never do that to you. Those are the people that you have to make a part of your life now. That's it. Yolanda done dropped the scripture. She said Psalm 27:10. Now I'm gonna have to look that one up. Psalm 27:10. Jonathan said on the card, remind her by asking where's my You just go sign. You're going to send her a card every year and just sign it. Where's my money? I mean, I'm just saying, listen. I got some family, I see you once a year, maybe twice. I got other family, I see every week, talk to every day, damn near. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. Exactly. That's it. Diva Nicole said, girl, you got your own family to be the matriarch over. You better, there you go. You a mama and a grandmama and a wife and a business owner and an entertainer. You're making a lot of money again with Xscape. You back on top right now with Xscape. Y'all are selling out arenas, according to y'all. According to y'all. But that's it. Peace said it. Protect your peace. You got to protect your peace. At this point in your life, that just ain't a peaceful place for you. And it's hurtful. I don't want to make light of that. It's hurtful. It's very hurtful. You love your family. You love your sister. Very hurtful. Thank you, Fifi. Peace, love. Say, I got family members I refuse to be around. Users and abusers. I'll pass. There you go. We better stop. We got to stop that. We've got to stop that, y'all. I want the big mamas to come back. Are the big mamas still around? People making gravy from scratch anymore? Child. Anyway, I ain't mean to be here this long. Let me get out of here, y'all. I love y'all. Tomorrow is a work day. I got to get these videos out and get caught up. So hopefully tomorrow y'all will see some videos dropping. Let's hope it's a slow news day, child, so I can get these reviews done, okay? Hold on a second, y'all. I'm about to go, but hold on a second. Sorry about that, y'all. I had to go. Whew. All right. Late night, excellent commentary. Please thank you, peace, love. Yeah, hit that like button on your way out the door. Thank you, Fifi, for coming through. It's a free way to support the channel, you guys. Psalm 27:10. When my father and my mother forsake me, then the Lord will take me up. Ooh, then I'm done. That's where I'm gonna leave it. Good night.